Colin Fassnidge, my very first question to you. Why restaurants? Why hospitality?
I think hospitality is a calling. It really is. Well, it was for everyone my generation, pre-internet and pre-Instagram and pre-TikTok famous cooking.
Yeah.
It was something, food was something I grew up with. My parents were great cooks, and food was something that we embraced. And everything was around the table. So every story we had, every time you got kicked out of school, it was all around the table. I'm sure it was like Asian families.
Yeah.
Irish families are the same. It's all about the food. And the mother is like, what's the next meal? What's for dinner? What's for breakfast? So that was embedded into me. So food was love. And then if you can take that into a job, that's how I got into restaurants.
That is our love language. That is correct.
Yeah, I took my passion and made money from it, which is, if you can do that, you're very lucky. But it can also turn on you as well.
Yeah, we've just had a chat about that. We've owned restaurants, cafes,
Yep.
you and I, and we know how tough it is. And for some reason, with a lot of dreamers out there, our dreamers might be a little bit harsh, but a lot of passionate people out there who have made a little bit of money.
Misinformed. That's a nice way of saying it, misinformed.
They're always inspired to open up a kitchen, to open up a restaurant. What do you think that is?
Well, it's one of those industries, everyone can sort of cook a bit, right? Mm-hmm. And after COVID, people were just cooking. Because if you can't cook or you have a shit garden after COVID, you got a problem because you've nothing else to do. So cooking. So people are like, oh, I can turn this into a business, but I've never cooked before. But it can't be that hard. I've cooked for my friends. And a lot of the disillusionment is, oh, my friends like my cooking, or 6 people of my best friends come around and we cook a chicken and they tell me how good I am. Mate, when you get in the real world, mm-hmm. It is a business that will eat you up and spit you out if you do not know what you're doing.
When did you start in the industry? What year?
I started, I'm 52 now. So
You're 52?
Yeah, look good.
Jeez. Yeah.
Got the Asian genes.
Yeah.
Moisturizer. I started cooking when I was 12. And my relatives had a catering company, so I used to work with them.
Yeah.
And I used to work in the bars, and then they eventually let me work in the kitchens. This was a big operation, then 40 chefs. And then I think 16, 17, I got a job in restaurants. I was still in school, so after school I'd work. And then I went to college, and then I had 2 jobs. I'd cycle from restaurant to restaurant. I was just super passionate. So I left school at 17.5, 18, went to college, Cal Brew Street for 2 years. And then I traveled the world. But, it was always embedded into me. I always knew I was going to be a chef.
Yeah.
Chef or a rock star. I used to play drums in a band, but everyone else in Ireland was in a band, so...
Yeah, we're pretty much the same. So I was in a school band as well.
Yeah.
And I used to idolize the like of Gordon Ramsay and Anthony Bourdain. And that was, not kidding, in the kitchen we have a shrine for Papa Bourdain.
Yeah.
But yes, like you said before, it's romanticizing, culinary cooking, but not a lot of people understand what goes on behind the scene, because you're not just a good cook. You have to be a good business person as well.
See, cooking's the easy bit.
Yeah.
If it was just the cooking and you're a good cook, you're laughing. I'm a great cook, but I got into business. Obviously, my wife is the yin and the yang. I'm like let's do this, and she's like, let's everyone calm down. And then my business partner, a 4 in hand. So we were the first pub ever in Australia to get 2 hats in a pub. My business partner, Joe Soleil, was the businessman. You need to surround yourself with people who are better at say, business, or people who can tell you, stop, it's not going to work, let's rethink this. You need to surround you with better people. And I was sort of the inspiration in the cooking, but my business partners were on the figures. Every week we'd have a meeting where we're going, what we're spending, are we making money, we're losing money, so where to rein it in, what to do. So we always had a team around us. And without that team, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be a success.
Yeah.
It's not about the chef, it's about the team around you.
And it's about the bottom line as well. How much you can retain. It's not just how much you make.
If you're not making money, you don't last very long. Like you can have there's chefs don't think of food costs and wages and are putting out great food and losing money, and then they're gone. Like it's happening more and more these days. If you look at the economy we're in at the minute, restaurants are not a good bet at the minute.
No, not at all. And this previously had a show called Kitchen Nightmare Australia as well. Yeah. So what do you see the one mistake that a lot of business owners make in this industry?
Knowledge. Know your a lot of them don't know their customers. They're trying to give people offerings that they don't want. Like, you know what I mean? If you're trying to give someone fine dining and people just want easy, cheap food, and the chef's got this ego, knowing how much food costs, knowing how much to charge, wages is a huge one at the minute. Like, so you've got to stock your kitchen, but not overstock it, because you like on the weekend you've got double time, penalty rates. It's about knowing your bottom line. Like, if you go below, you're out.
Yeah. I mean, you've traveled the world and you've seen the restaurant scenes all over the world as well. What separates Australia? Because I do think Australia, when it comes to restaurants and the markets, are quite different to the rest of the world. Yeah. Here we have a tall poppy syndrome. They don't really give a fuck about Michelin stars, for example.
Yeah.
What do you see the differences in Australian markets?
Well, I think as well, Australia needs to learn to pay for food what it's worth, because if you look at what the farmers are having to pay to produce, say, the beef or whatever, and then it lands to the table, there's like pubs giving you $15 steaks. Man, what are you eating for $15? And you've got to learn to pay like for food. Like I looked in the supermarket yesterday, celeriac was $6 each, and they were tiny. Yeah. And people aren't buying them; they're going to landfill. So we've sort of stayed at a level. I know it's hard, times are hard, but if you're going to go to a restaurant, you've got to pay what the food is worth. And I think for a long time, restaurants have played down what food is worth. They're afraid to overcharge. Well, not overcharge, but charge what it's worth, because there is a bit of a backlash.
100%. And I think that's why a lot of restaurateurs, a lot of cafe owners are struggling at the moment.
But in saying that, you've got to provide the skill and the service. Like, if you're going to charge, you better back it up. Like, don't have waiters who don't know the menu, or who are a bit nonchalant, or chefs who can't cook properly, or you've got to have nice surroundings, clean table. You know what I mean? You got to back it up. If you're going to charge, you're giving a service. It's like a mechanic. You got to do it properly. It's
a paradox as well, because look, when it comes to Asian cuisine, for example, it's always perceived as a cheap, cheerful sort of feat. But when you have a look into what goes into Asian cuisine, especially, let's say, for example, Indonesia, for example, we've got hundreds, thousands of spices, herbs that goes into, hours and hours of cooking and prepping. But we can't really charge the way you charge for say, a bowl of pasta.
Well, I think if you're talking about when you go to Asia or places like that, the regulations are a bit different as well, because the council here and the health inspectors, like, they put you through the ringer. You got to crack tile.
100%.
You got to crack tile, you get a fine, and you know what I mean? You get these warnings. You got to crack tile. Like, it's not the be all and end all. I just come back from Kuala Lumpur, and I was on that main street where they're just cooking with a little cart, and you're getting. I had some of the best food I ever had, but none of that's going to fly over here. They need to sort of relax the regulations a little bit. Like, there is people who, if you watch Kitchen Nightmare, it's good, fly under the radar and do things the wrong way. But you can still operate cleanly, tidy, and have a great product, a cart on the side of the road. You just got to police it properly.
Yeah. And my theory is the poorer a country is, the better the food is.
Yeah, well, we've become a nanny state of, kids in playgrounds falling over and eating a stick. The parents have got the wipes out, and like, none of that's healthy. All this hand wipes and sterilized. Everything's so much sterilized now, and your food, like, restaurants are buying food coming in backpack bags, and no one knows where the food's coming from anymore. And chicken that's pumped full of hormones, and it's we're not in the real world anymore, and we need to get back to real world cooking. And when you go to places like Asia, the chicken's on the side of the road. Bop, I watched my chicken being killed. Bop, and it's still got rigor mortis, and they cooked the butt. You know what I mean?
Talking about farm to table.
It's well street to table, but it was curb to table. But it was the fish from the tank, and you're not. You know where it's coming from. I think we're so far removed of where our food is coming from. And food's becoming so sterilised. That's my biggest peeve at the minute.
Yeah. But I know that you look after yourself very well and you eat very well as well, of course.
I still have an old, what would you call it? I want fast food. I'll do fast food, fried chicken. I'm going for a good laksa with a friend of mine downtown after this.
Yeah.
But I do eat healthy. Like my cholesterol's through the roof, but that's hereditary. I train because that's good for your head. Like, especially, I learned that in restaurant land in four in hand, like 15 years ago. I started going to the gym on my break, and I came back mentally stronger and better for the service that night. And it just helped the business. If you're healthy, your head's healthy, the business gets healthy.
What's your regime? What's your exercise regime?
Well, I live near a national park in Malabar, so that's about 6-7 Ks. So I'll do, not every day, but I try to do every day, 6-7 Ks along the coast.
Yep.
Listen to a podcast, and it's like even in the rain, hail or shine. And then after that, I'll go to the gym, do an hour of maybe weights and have a steam. On the Wednesdays, we do the W Now.
Yeah.
Our men's group, as my daughter calls it, my woman's group. Where we train on the beach, it's middle of winter now, it was raining and it was 12 degrees, it was 8 degrees the other morning. We train, we swim in the ocean, we come back, we have a talk, we have a coffee, great for the mind, sets you up, and you look forward to that sort of meeting every week. So I do that on the Wednesday. I just do little things every day, or I make sure I walk somewhere instead of, like, if I can walk, I'll walk it. Like if I've got something downtown, I'll walk it.
Yeah. Now with W Now, what sort of people are in that group?
W Now is a range of, so it started with Ty, Kennelly and Dave, of athletes and friends who just were having a hard time, set up a group. So it could range from CEOs to chefs to a plumber. And it's all about word of mouth. And a man says, well, I'm having a hard time. Well, I go, right, well, come down on a Wednesday. I know this group and it's training. Well, I don't want to train on the beach. No, man. Anyone can train. You go to your level. It's about just getting together. We meet on a Wednesday. We train on the beach. We have a coffee. But the big thing about it, everyone gives everyone a hug at the start. Like, it's just, hey, all right, good. And that hug is like, you know, a connection with another person. And a lot of men out there are missing that connection and are afraid to connect with people. And you know, men are men, and you've got to sort of break those boundaries. So what we do is we connect, we train, we have a coffee, we have this thing called a circle of trust.
Yeah.
So everyone just gets in a circle, and if you've got something on your mind, it's very odd the first time. Like you will definitely watch the first few weeks, and then you get the courage to step in and go, do you know what, I'm having a hard time. Some guys are like, I'm having a hard time, me and my wife, it's not good, and then it doesn't matter if you don't say it, but that will connect with someone else. Or someone else yesterday was like, I'm depressed and I'm not in a good way. Like, I'm really not in a good way. And they just come together and people will, right, well, I'll meet you for a walk. We'll have a coffee. And they drag this person out, try and drag him out of a hole. It's very hard. But that's what it's about. It's about recognizing there's a problem, finding the problem and trying to drag that person out of the hole or off the edge.
That's the hardest thing, isn't it? Like, getting them to calm down, to bring the walls down, to be able to open up.
You could be chatting to me now, and we're I'm talking blah blah blah, but tomorrow you could be on the edge, like on the edge of the cliff. There is people, and that's what you realize. It's you don't know, like you can just talk to people. So you've got to. It's about making a contact and making people relax enough to say I'm not okay.
Yeah, especially those who worked in a kitchen, or I don't know about the kitchen culture now, but the way we grew up, kitchens were very, very different. Now, you mentioned that the wages were through the roof. The labours are quite high in Australia. I reckon it's got something to do with a working culture as well.
Yeah, the culture is better. But look, there's two roads you go down here. I could get myself in a lot of trouble, and I worked in many restaurants, and I worked in restaurants on my days off just to get knowledge. It wasn't about money, but I understand. You have to. If my daughter wants to go in a kitchen now, my daughter works in hospitality now. She gets paid by the hour. She gets her breaks, and it's a much like I wouldn't send her into what my past life where I worked. I don't want my kid working there. But for me, mine was about knowledge, not about money. But not everyone's on that level of cooking that they want the knowledge. People need to be on pay bills. So the whole wages thing it's I don't know, man. It's just like people need to get paid for a good day's work. But the way the wages, as we said, don't match the spend or what people are paying.
Yep.
It's a business that's not built for success because the amount of money you're making, it's not worth it.
It's labour of love.
It is, and that's what I said. You have to be picked to do this industry, or go work for a big company, which is unfortunately the way the Merivales and all them are going. But that's a bit soul destroying if you do that. Anyway, just get the dig in. I used to work for them. But like a standalone restaurant, a family standalone restaurant, or a young kid trying to open a restaurant, oh my God, it's so hard. And hats off to all the young guys who are coming up and doing it now.
Yeah.
You know, I watched Big Sam Young's open the second place yesterday or whatever, and I'm like, good luck to you. Like, best, like, shining light in the industry. Young guy, doing well, but it's very hard. And it's an industry that can turn on you really quick, like mentally. I've lost a lot of friends through hospitality.
That was where I was going with, is the mental health sort of side of working in a kitchen as well, because you're under constant stress. We've just had a chat with a neuroscientist before as well, and stress is good, but constant stress is not.
I like stress. I was fueled on stress, not on sleep. Fueled on stress. Stress is good. But as I said, it was my passion. So I was I loved it. Obviously, there's people that didn't. But the problem is, you're in an industry where you're hyped up all day, and then the problem was you went out all night because you didn't have the off switch. And everyone did that in our industry in those days. And it was a great community. You'd meet different chefs, different restaurants after service. We'd all go to Golden Century. We'd have, everyone would hang out. We're all drink. It's great. What a great life. That's when you're in your 30s, 20s. Then when you're in your 50s, you don't do that. But the problem is the people who still keep doing it, that's the problem. It's just a downward slope of it's not good for your head. I'm glad I'm not standing in the kitchen doing 16 hours a day now at 52, because I know a lot of people my age who still are and are very angry at the world and hate the job. It's turned on them.
Yeah, I would imagine, because to be in a kitchen for 15, 16 hours a day in front of a stove in constant heat, constant battle,
Which I did love, but I sort of fell out of love with it, I would say, or I fell in love with other elements of the industry.
Now, this is something that I've learned after owning a few ventures as well, is I used to love the industry. I used to be very passionate about, I still am very passionate about ingredients, where it's sourced, how it's made, how it's prepared, blah, blah, blah. But once you get to a certain point of multiple venues, it all becomes number crunching, because you need to make money in the end of the day. Yeah, you need to be able to survive.
I sometimes look back and go, I'm doing, touch wood, I'm a late bloomer, I'm doing well. But I sometimes look back and go, fuck, remember when you were just a chef at the party and you just had to look after your section? Hide my cling film for tomorrow so no one else gets it. I've got my ingredients, my section's ready to go, and I'm a machine ready for service.
That's my happiest days of my life.
And that's all I had to worry about. And that was, sometimes I go, remember those days? It'd be good just to go back for a week and just do that. You didn't have all this other stuff around you, because it's not just about cooking now. There's all this other stuff, especially in my world now. It's it's just constant, just at you. And I'd imagine just go back in the kitchen and be a chef at the party for a week. Be good.
Yeah, just unknown,
Actually, I'll be too old.
unseen.
My back's too old. So.
But what do you do now? You do a few things. You do food diaries. You do off the grid. You do. You still have your soup kitchen.
No, see, so the soup kitchen we were talking about, I think the world's changed a little bit in a bad way because in COVID, all the restaurants closed, all my restaurants closed, and I had all this food. And I was like, what do I do with the food? And so I started to just feed local people or the chefs or whatever. And then a lot of people got involved, like Vic's and Pasta Vera and veg companies, and they start delivering food to this restaurant that was closed. And I was like, what do I do with it? So I cooked. We had nothing else to do, it was COVID. So I'd fill up my car and I'd go to this car park in Banksia and I'd feed people from the back of my car. And I did it every Monday for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And it was just a great sense of community. Like it was good for just to be doing something. But I've gone from on TV restaurants to zero to feeding people out of the back of my car. And it was a big wake-up call. Like, dads, like, it messes you up as well. To do charity work, like, in the cold face of it, you got to be prepared for some hard times because I'd have dads turn up with daughters and very hard for a dad to turn up and accept food for free. And you could say, but I'd make it fun and, like, we're all in the same boat, man. These people had no money or they'd been let go from their jobs and I was just like, wow. And then I'd have old people turn up who didn't have food and I'd drop it off to their house. And then some lady had a miscarriage and she couldn't leave her house and she lived 50 k's from my house. And I drove and delivered the food to her house and the meals for the week and whatever. And they had no money to pay and she was crying. And I was like, it's about community. That's what I was saying we're missing a bit. So, but then I'd go home and drink a half bottle of whiskey at night time to process what I'd seen that day.
That's fucked.
Because I'm a chef, right? A chef or a TV chef or whatever. And then suddenly I'm in this world where you've got all these people's pain and you're dealing with them and it's a very good wake-up call. Like you realise I work so much now because I take on opportunities, I take nothing for granted and I work my ass off. Because when you see the depth, the lows of how people can go, it's a very good wake-up call. Never think you're better than anyone or you can always help someone. So I did the soup kitchen for a long time and it was probably one of the best things I've ever done.
What's the best thing you've learned with soup kitchen?
Community. The kids used to draw me pictures of my car and me and like handing out food and they'd give me little pictures that said thank you from the week before and I'd fucking cry about it.
That's... Yeah.
I think just that food is a medium that obviously you're feeding people, but you also can help people.
So that gets back to the reason why you started.
Yeah, it brings me back to the 12-year-old kid why I got into it. And then I'm feeding other 12-year-old kids that hopefully might inspire them. Like my dad always said, like if you're doing well, you can give back. Like whatever you do, give back. And that was sort of him ringing in my ear. Still alive, by the way. Still ringing in my ear about... if you got the time to do and I had the skill to cook, I had the time, so why not share it with someone else and hopefully it'll inspire someone else. Because in COVID, everyone was running away from the fire. You know what I mean? In the supermarket, taking the toilet rolls, taking all the pasta, like forget about everyone else. Where I thought we're sort of running into the fire. Like let's give it away.
Yeah, that's huge. Do you still have it?
No, because then everything got back to normal. And everyone sort of, I think, lost community again and forgot about, remember when we used to look after people?
Yeah.
I still do a lot. Like, I went to a school the other day for kids with disabilities. Some kids can't walk, talk, whatever, and we do cooking classes. And it's just, I do things just to go, do you know what, you're lucky in life. Not that these people aren't lucky, but it's good just to do stuff for free without being... To
bring you back to earth.
Yeah, but not back there, but just, but just to go, do you know what, like the parents of these children have to think about every step of the way what they're going to do with these kids. And I go back to my kids and go, do you know what, you're moaning about the internet. And it's about just resetting and doing stuff that makes you go, do you know what, you're not that bad.
That's exactly what I said to my son as well. He doesn't know how privileged he is to be able to experience whatever he is experiencing at the moment. And when we brought him back to Indonesia to open up his eyes of how people live in the street, what people eat, how people survive, it got to him a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm going to Perth in 2 weeks for Ronnie, with Ronnie from Oz Harvest to do Oz Harvest in Perth.
Yep.
And we do Sydney and like all the chefs. That's not a paid gig. You just turn up and you do it. She's like, "Can you go to Perth and cook?" And I was like, oh, "It's a long way, Ronnie." But Ronnie, if anything she asks, I do. Like Oz Harvest is a great one. It's another one. In this day and age, we've got Aussies who can't afford to feed themselves or heat their house. Like, what's that about? We've got two dimensions of wealth in Australia, and we need to fucking look after the people at the bottom.
Yeah. So at 52, what's next for you?
Hopefully make it to 62. No, I think, look, I'm last year I did 5 shows and I broke myself. Like, I'm not joking about it, actually. I got to December and I didn't want to get out of bed, and WNL helped me a lot. Because to get to do that amount of TV shows is very rare. So, and I took on too much, because I'm sort of you never know what's going to happen. So I did 5 TV shows, and I was in Mongolia filming Food Diaries, and my head was just cooked. I just wanted to go home. I wanted to go home and see my kids. I wanted to go home and see my wife. I wanted to see my dog. I wanted to be on my couch. And I'm in Mongolia at minus 35 on the Russian border, in this hotel that didn't even have a toilet. And I seen the footage of it the other day, and my eyes were black. Like, I could see this person who was not good and just wanted to get out of there. And I still had another 3 months on the road. And I was just, so I'm trying not to get back to just comment. I'm trying not to repeat that this year. Like, I'm very busy. I do MKR, which pays the bills. That's 3 months on the road, solid. That is a killer. That's why I got grey hair. Yeah. Then I do, my days off of that, I do Better Homes and Gardens. That's easy, great crew. Easy, we cook food that I cook in my house. Then me and Manu have got another show called Off the Grid. So that was part of last year. So that's him and me in a caravan driving around New Zealand, and arguing and eating. But that's just like a fly on the wall. So that's coming out in, I think, November on Channel 7.
Yeah.
And they've renewed 2 more seasons of that. And then we got the Food Diaries, which is our sort of media company, which we did Mongolia, Cambodia on motorbikes, and we did Japan. And that's very rough and ready.
How's Manu doing? The last time I saw him, he was on a crutch.
Yeah, he did a knee reconstruction. He's doing good, actually. Yeah. He gave up drinking.
Oh, that's one thing that I wanted to ask you as well. I've never seen you drink.
Fuck, you haven't been watching. Look, I've got 2 levels. I've got stop and go, or just hardcore and stop.
Yeah.
That's my 2 levels. Like, when I'm on, I'm on. And then, like, I did Taste of Port Douglas last week, a festival with 20 chefs, and I was on, like, too much. And then I got home on the Monday and said, you need to take a long, hard look at yourself and just go. Like, I love a whiskey at home. Yeah. Like, I've no interest in going out all night and going to bars and people going, do you want to go to this club? Or, like, I haven't been to a club in years. Do you want to go to a wine bar or a bar? I'm like, nah, it's Wednesday. I want to sit at home.
Yeah. You just want to switch off with your bottle of whiskey. That's it.
Usually, yeah, bottle goes sometimes. But like glass of whiskey, I collect fish now. I've got a big 300-litre fish tank with discus, big discus?
Yes.
That like costs $300-400 a pop. If my wife's listening, they cost $20. And it's like buying drugs, man. Buying a discus. I got to sneak it into the house in a bag, get it into the tank. But I've got this big tank of discus, and I'll have a whiskey and just chill out and just be like, it calms me, because the rest of my life is just crazy. Like all these traveling and shows, and it's the travels that kill it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you keep everything balanced?
My wife's pretty good at balancing me.
In what way?
My family don't buy into TV, Colin. He doesn't exist. I don't exist in my house. My daughters are teenagers, right?
Yeah.
And that's a whole different ballgame dealing with that crazy train at the minute. So, and My wife knew me before TV. And then sometimes she'd be like, you know, get your ego in check. And I'm like, what ego? Ego pays the bills. So I've got it, like, any of my TV shows are on TV. My kids don't even bat an eyelid. They turn them off, which is, I don't need people stroking my ego at home. So I just have a normal life. But the travel is the killer. And I try and, last year was too much, as I said, and I wasn't home enough for my family. So this year I'll do a block of travel, come home and take a block off, and then do another block.
Yeah. I would imagine being away from your family is going to be the hardest bit of traveling.
Not always.
Not always. Sometimes it's a good
I've got
thing.
teenage girls. I wake in the morning, I've got this thing, it's called a crocodile, right? So,
What is it?
So in my house, they all just go each other. 3 women. Just everything's a drama. Who's got the sock? That's my skirt. That's my top. That's my toast. And my wife's got an Northern Irish accent. My kids have got, but they're all just, it's World War III. So I lie in bed and pretend I'm asleep, but I'm actually awake, but I just don't move because I don't want to be part of this battle. And it's called a crocodile. Crocodile always just lies there and just looks. Like, so I just stay out of the line of fire.
Yeah. Colin, I'm going to ask you a question that I ask every guest that comes to the show. What was your fuck it moment that propelled you personally and professionally?
There's two to this. There was, so I had the four in hand, which had 2 hats, and I worked 16 hours a day, and I was a demon. Like, I was a demon. Like, if you couldn't keep up, I got rid of you.
How old were you back then?
So that was 15 years ago. What was it, 35? Yeah, 35, 2 hats. I was a demon. Like, if you couldn't keep up, I got rid of you. So I had a great team around me. And my wife got pregnant, and I was like, shit. How does this happen? Like, obviously I know how it happens. I was there. But I was like, what happens now if we have a baby? Like, 'cause she worked in the restaurant as well. And then I'm like, oh, we're in the spot up. Anyway, have the baby, have Lily. You meet this child. You've never, like, love is like, you've never experienced that like this. And obviously fear as well, because I don't have any family here. So we got this kid, and I'm like, what do we do? And I step back from the restaurant, and I have the little bassinet with the baby, and I go down the beach in the morning, and business got better when I wasn't there. Like my sous chef, Carla Jones, like, because I was micromanaging, and then my team was like, this is a big step for him, because we're a very close team, was like, this is a very big step for him to step back. And like, I'd go in at nighttime, and I relinquished power to the team, and it flourished, and let me go on and do. I realized I could do other things, like TV, or I didn't have to be standing in screaming and shouting at a section all day, and that was a big one. And then the other one was I was offered the TV gig. Do you want to do this My Kitchen Rules? I was like, nah, I don't do TV. I'm a real chef. And then I was talking to my wife, and she's like, why don't you just give it a go? And I was like, well, I'm a chef. I'm not meant for TV. And I said, fuck it. So I went in and did it, and was terrible at it, and got really good fast. Otherwise, you get fired.
Yep. So what was the biggest difference between a chef in the kitchen and a chef in front of camera?
Because there's so many bad ones in front of camera. I'm a good one. Me and Manu are good. I think it's a different world. Like, you're learning scripts, and it's not just. And I was like pretty raw. Like, the food is shit, man. Get out. You're gone. Get out. I score you a 2. Go home. I want to open a restaurant. No, you don't. You shit. Get out. Right. And that day, loved that. And then that was sort of my persona for a while, but it wasn't really me. And when you messed up, there's 100 people behind the camera. You don't get how much crew is there. And if you keep messing up, it gets in your head. Because I didn't have any media training. I was just this ruffian from a kitchen who just spoke his mind, which a lot of people liked. But there's obviously messages you got to convey. And when you don't get it right, I had to learn how to be TV. Like,
You have to learn how to project.
Project, but not let things get in your head. Or switch it, like, they'd give me a script with 60 pages. So I'm like, fucking, I can't learn that. But now I know I can just work it my own way, put in my own language. But no one told me that. I was like, what do I do with this?
It's just chucked in the deep.
Oh, deep end. Mate, you're on national television. At that time, 2 million people are watching it. It's like, in the deep end, they're telling you what to wear. It's like, this is not something I would wear. A brown suit with no socks. I look like a traveller. Not that, I'll cut that out, actually. That's bad, actually. Bad, derogatory. But I just look like, I don't know what I look like. Yeah. And my hair was fucking a mess. And then I was acting the way I thought they wanted me to act. But it wasn't me. And then I very quickly learned that I'd be me. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. I get fired, I'll do something else. And I think the reason to my success is I try and be me, mostly.
Yeah, people like genuine.
Yeah, I think there's enough idiots on TV, like look at me and like basically like Instagram and do everything. People want a bit of real. People, like, I talk about struggles at home, mental health.
Yeah.
The food I cook is for people who can't afford to cook, and I'm trying to get you to cook 2 meals. Like, I don't have to do Instagram or TikTok or anything. Like, I cook food that people can cook at home for a reason, just because I like to teach people to cook and go to school. Like, stop. I'm sick of chefs making food so out of people's realms that it just turns them off food.
Yeah. So, what was the best advice that you've received that you still take with you until today?
I don't know. I think my daughter likes to tell me that you're not all that. You're not him. Don't think you're
not all that.
Yeah, you're not all that. Don't think you're that. That's a pretty good one. My wife sort of echoes that as well. I think passion and respect, like from my parents, that was something I learned. Mm-hmm. Like always sort of show respect. I don't always, but I try. Like when people wind me up, I'm a great man for an argument. But I think sort of respect and never sort of get too above your station that you think you're.
And you live it.
Yeah, like I see a lot of people on TV sets who are rude to crews, and you're no different to anyone. You're a small cog in a wheel. Some hosts on TV shows think, that it'll be all and end all. You're a cog in a wheel.
Yep.
And if you don't realise that, you'll be gone pretty soon.
What about an advice for young chefs or restaurateurs, aspiring restaurateurs?
Aspiring restaurateurs, find a very good business partner who maybe can't cook but knows figures.
Yep.
Like their business is figures. Your business is cooking. Marry the two together. If you know how to do that as both, great. But find someone who's the yin to your yang and will also tell you when you're not good. That's a good one as well. Another one is learn from your mistakes. The only reason I've done well is because I made so many mistakes.
Yeah.
And you just don't do it again. That's how you become a good businessman. You fuck up and you don't do it again. You grow from it. Mistakes teach you more than winning.
100%. And you want to make mistakes very quickly.
Oh, very early.
Very early on.
Because later on, it's more expensive.
That's right. All right, Colin, thank you very much again for being with us. I would love to have you back for more chats about, mental health and figures of restaurants that people don't often talk about.
Sure, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend.